Hello, Robotics Notes fans. Happy November 18th. It is 12:09 a.m. on Pokemon Day. My copy of Pokemon is a physical copy that will be coming in the mail, so I don't have Pokemon yet, so I'm getting this out of the way now. So let's load the data. Alright, we're heading out. These days, Akio and Subaru seem to go to the robot clinic every day after school. And as always, Jenna and I are the ones to see them off. This has become a frequent occurrence. Kai, don't slack off just because I'm not around. Make sure you help Jun. And of course, Akio always says something along these lines before leaving. And I always shrug when she does. The usual template. Once they leave, my free time begins. Huh? Yashio-kun, you aren't going to the hangar? Sorry, I have some business at school. I'll meet up with you later so you can start on your own. Business? I didn't know you were on the student council. It's nothing like that. It's personal business. Folks don't like people who pry too much, and by folks I mean me. I'd prefer if you keep liking me. Right? So go and get started on your mocap stuff. Okay. I give Jenna a little push on the back and get her to leave. Jenna's been practicing constantly for the mocap as of late. Frau took no time programming us some motion capture software. But she's been really stubborn when it comes to the drive system. Is it that much of a pain in the ass? Even Subaru's getting nervous about it getting done before February. Plus, once Frau starts on something, she keeps working until she finishes. No breaks. This might take up to a month. What'll happen to Frau? She could potentially work herself to death. Frau might be thinking the same thing. That I explain why she's trying to dodge us. Either way, Jenna's mocap work is still just in the practice phase. Model 2 hasn't been assembled yet. It's too early to come up with actions that match each joint's range of motion. Someone proposed we make a functional 3D model, but it'd take us time to create, plus Fraud have to make it for us. So with no way to simulate anything, we're on hold until we finish the real deal. In other words, the schedule's gonna be tight. That being said, as the operator, there's nothing I can do about any of this. No point in worrying. I don't feel too guilty over ditching club activities for personal business. Irie-chan, come on out. Yes? The AR girl happily trots out as after I call for her. I'm a little sick, but that's alright. Tomorrow's weather, November 19th. For the Yukishima region of Kagoshima Tanegashima will be clear, with a high temperature of 21 degrees and a low temperature of 13 degrees. You should bring a long sleeve jacket to wear at night. Thanks for the oh so valuable advice. I immediately tap on Irie and switch her to Gejine. Access confirmed. Switching to Gejine mode. I want to avoid talking to Irie at school if at all possible. There are lots of people around, so there's no telling who's watching. If someone caught wind of this, they'd probably raise a stink about ghosts or something. But right now, I have no actual choice but to summon her at school. First, let's see how everything's looking. Can you check again if I've completed all the triggers for report number 5? I checked just last night and this morning, but I want to be sure. Trigger completion for Kamijima report number 5 is as follows. Number 1. Discover Kamijima report number 4. Note from Gejine. Trigger number 1 has already been completed. Sorry everyone. I just got a frickin' Alright. I think I'm back. I think I'm alive. I think I'm good. Ugh. Run from point A to point B on the runway of the Old Tanegashima Airport in under 5 minutes. Note, completed. For some reason, the triggers for report number 5 are all based on physical activities. Thanks to my condition, I have zero physical ability to speak of. That's why I gave up at the end of September. But after seeing Minami Kogori's warning, I can't afford to sit on my ass anymore. I have to get them all. My main issue was trigger number 2. Running from point A to point B on the runway means going from end to end. That's about 1,600 meters. For the record, my 1,500 meter marathon time in junior high PE was over 7 minutes. Not only was this 100 meters longer, but unlike the school field, the runway is on a slope. This would be impossible for me. But after thinking it over, I decided to drive from one end to the other on my scooter. It took me about a minute or so. Afterwards, I took a shot at the dark and checked with Gejine. Guess what? Trigger complete. Talk about lucky. 3. Do a lap on the marathon track in Nakatani-cho Central Athletic Park in under 60 seconds. Note, completed. Seeing how my exploit for trigger number 2 worked, that automatically made clearing number 3 simple. Get in trouble if I drove around on my scooter, so I forcefully borrowed a bike from a classmate to use instead. My time came in a little under 30 seconds. Trigger complete. Irie and Gejine have been really lax about this whole thing. It's been a huge help. 4. Get a bullseye on the target in the Central Tanegashima High Kyoto Club Dojo. Note, completed. Thus, the hardest one ended up being trigger number 4. I asked the Kyoto Club to lend me a bow, but they totally refused. I get it. Who let a rando third year in the problematic robot club use a bow? I sure wouldn't. It also doesn't help that the Kyoto Club's advisor is the vice principal herself. In the end, I utilized the Passion Accord to locate an old Kyoto Club member and borrowed their bow for a day. I then waited for the club to finish practice, snuck into the bow range, and shot arrows 2 meters from the target. After about an hour, I finally hit the center of the target and completed the trigger. It was already night by then. I basically cheated on all but trigger number 1. A win's a win, though. Personally, I'm not a fan of these kinds of tactics. And so brings us to today. All 4 triggers have been completed. The IR annotation for Kimijima Report number 5 has been made visible. And you're thinking it's somewhere on campus? Correct. Please find it as soon as possible. Wait, don't tell me the other people can see it too. No, only the person who has completed the triggers can see it. Then what's the hurry? Just then, I hear some girls snickering from a short ways away. I turn around and find 3 girls in the hall looking at me and laughing for some reason. When they notice that I've spotted them, they hurry away. They probably think I'm some weirdo who talks to his phone droid. See, this is why I don't want to summon Irie at school. Gejine's right. Let's get this over and done with. Find the report, move on. There should be a Power Mark AR annotation for the Kimijima report somewhere at the school. I gotta find it. Alright. I know where you are. Oops. I said I know where you are, and then immediately picked the wrong place. Where's that flagpole? There you are, you rapscallion. Come on, there we go. User access approved. Confirming. Okay. Kimijima report number 5 has been downloaded. I'm not going to be able to focus and read it here. Time to switch locations. I slip into the club room and plop down on the round chair. Now then, let's take a look-see at this report. Shit, I'm nervous. My finger trembles a little as I navigate my phone droid's menus. What am I so scared of? I force a smile to mask my own fear. Sorry, I had a thing to do. First time I saw one of these Kimijima reports, I wanted to laugh at what it said. But now, I'm surprised at the fact that I can't laugh it off anymore. I open the report. When auroras become observed all over the world, mainly in low-altitude areas, due to the activity of the sun being more active, many people will question HAARP, High Frequency Active Oral Research Program, a program that researches the activity and the effects on the wireless communication by radiating high-power electromagnetic waves to the ionospheric layer. However, the fact that the Army is part of this military project is a major reason that HARP cannot clear their suspicion. Ridiculous thoughts, and consequently, the core goals of HARP are being told by conspiracists. For example, I'm struggling to read this. I don't know why. For example, there's a theory that by radiating electric waves through the strength of 1 trillion watts, you can control the weather, mines, and cause earthquakes, or you can create a strong laser weapon to attack cities by meddling with the ionospheric layer. These ridiculous theories with robust imaginations are covering up the alarm bell that is the one truth. The truth is being mocked by people who ask, "What are you talking about?" But do not get misled. There is a high probability that all these ridiculous theories that are used for cover-up come from Tavistock. They will create a forest to hide a tree. That is the way of the Tavistock Institute. First of all, it is obvious that HARP's strong electromagnetic wave is not targeting Earth based on the ionospheric layer theory. But that is not all. Properties of HARP were converted when NASA and the Committee of 300 got the results from the Ulysses project. It's probably easier to understand if I say it became part of Project Atom. The sun's surface is about 6,000 degrees, but solar flares get shot into the sun's magnetosphere from the surface at temperatures over a few million degrees. In 2007, the reason for that heat was discovered to be magnetic reconnection. In other words, due to the increasing proximity of the north and south pole of the sun, the two opposing magnetic field lines of the sun's surface and the corona in the sky are in contact, creating a truly unstable situation. Both magnetic flux lines have the tendency to grow shorter, but at this time of extreme amounts of energy get released in upwards of thousands of degrees. The surface isn't the only thing affected. This magnetic reconnection is happening frequently in the sun's magnetosphere, and that is not someone else's problem. The sun's magnetosphere is tightly connected to the geomagnetosphere. Magnetic reconnection is happening in the sun's magnetosphere has a major effect on the geomagnetosphere. The purpose of the solar disturbance is to push the sun's atmosphere and plasma to the geomagnetosphere. There is a chance that a magnetic reconnection can happen if the plasma and the geomagnetosphere crash with each other. You need to understand that the auroras occurring are caused by the energy created by the plasma heating and speeding up. If a magnetic reconnection occurs in the geomagnetosphere, a magnetosphere substorm will cause damage far worse than the regular solar disturbance. Critically, it will end all human life. Project Atom is terrifying in that it is trying to artificially create this event and is using HARP as one of the gears to that end. The Committee of 300 think that it is impossible for the human race to control the sun, but controlling the geomagnetosphere would be possible. Can't even understand half of it. Gejine, can you summarize this for me? With the sun entering a period of maximum activity, Earth's magnetosphere has also become unstable. Using that, the committee is attempting to artificially induce a solar corona phenomenon in the magnetosphere. Wow, I totally get it now. Well done. Thank you very much. Using the sun's abnormal activity, they can cause an explosion that occurs near the sun, only near Earth instead? It really is like the final episode of Gun Barrel. According to Minami Kogori's warning, Gun Barrel was propaganda made with the assistance of the Tavistock Institute. But what were they trying to make people think? Watching Gun Barrel never resulted in me getting any ideas. This needs to be made public. This is bad. If what's written here is true, humanity's screwed. I never thought I'd say those words out loud and mean it. This sort of unreal craziness was supposed to be limited to movies and anime. I mean, fiction is filled with these sorts of apocalyptic scenarios. Humanity is actually in real danger, yet all I can think is how this must be some kind of Hollywood movie. None of this feels real. It doesn't seem possible. No matter how many times I've been warned. Even after a solar disturbance unleashed its fury on North America. Even with that bizarre aurora hovering in the sky above the island. None of it feels real. If I publicize the reports, people would laugh them off as conspiracy theory nonsense like I did at first. Who would believe some random high schooler going public with this kind of info? Hell, it's more than likely that I'd become the laughingstock of the world. Maybe I should wait and see for a bit. If I went public with this and things got crazy, I'd have even less time to game. Gejine, give me the trigger info for the next Kimijima report. Downloading the unlock conditions triggers to make Kimijima report number 6 AR annotation visible. Download complete. The triggers for report number 6 are as follows. 1. Discover Kimijima report number 5. Note from Gejine, the trigger number 1. Yeah, you get the idea. 2. Record a high score on JAXA Masuda Tracking and Communication Center satellite tracking game. 3. Gather 100 lost golf balls at the Cosmo Resort's golf course. 4. Ride a wave for 3 or more seconds on a geotagged surfboard. That is all. More abuse. This guy wants me to go surfing at this time of year. Not to mention, I've never surfed in my entire life. I'm the most amateur of amateurs. Stop assuming that every dude in Tanegashima can surf. Oh, good grief. Can't be burning time like this. What the hell was Kokimijima thinking when he came up with such annoying triggers? Did he even care about this info getting out? I'm extremely irritated. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is another episode of Robotics Notes Elite Like Animal Crossing. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Robotics Notes Elite Like Animal Crossing. But until then, happy Pokemon Day, and Nochio!